My beloved child, before you ask for anything today, pause and breathe. Can you feel that? The quiet rhythm of your heart still beating. That is my mercy pulsing through you. The breath you just took, it was not automatic. It was a gift. The morning light that slipped through your window, the sound of a bird in the distance, the softness of your pillow, the taste of water on your tongue. These are not small things. They are miracles wrapped in ordinary moments, waiting to be noticed. You see, gratitude is not just manners, it is worship. It is the song your soul sings when it finally recognizes me in the details. Many search for me in the thunder and overlook me in the whisper, but I am there, in the quiet, in the kitchen, in the laughter that interrupts your worry, in the friend who checks on you, in the food that nourishes, in the sunset that keeps its promise. Gratitude is the lens that clears your vision to see how near I've been all along. You have prayed for miracles, child, and I have given you mornings. You have asked for signs, and I have given you seasons. You have begged for breakthroughs, and I have given you breath. I never stopped giving. I simply waited for your eyes to open. Gratitude opens gates that anxiety locks. When you thank me, the atmosphere shifts. Your heart becomes lighter, your steps steadier, your hope louder. There were times when you felt unseen, unheard, unblessed. But if you only knew how heaven whispered your name every time you chose to trust me instead of complain. Every thank you spoken through tears echoed louder in heaven than 1,000 perfect prayers. When you worship in the dark, angels take notes. When you thank me in weakness, your gratitude becomes warfare, a melody that confuses the enemy and delights your Father. Child, I never asked you to pretend that pain doesn't exist. I only asked you to remember that even in the pain, I still exist. Gratitude doesn't erase sorrow, it redeems it. When you say thank you through heartbreak, you're planting seeds in the soil of suffering, seeds that will bloom into peace later. The gratitude that costs you something is the kind that changes everything. You have walked through deserts, but did you notice how I never let the sand swallow you? You have faced storms, but did you realize how I held the boat together? You have lost people you loved, yet I never left your side. I was in the hospital room, the empty kitchen, the quiet graveyard. I wept with you, held you, carried you, and even then my love never broke. Gratitude is not denial, it is defiance. It looks pain in the eye and says, you will not have the final word. Look back for a moment. Remember the bills that got paid just in time, the doors that opened when you almost gave up, the text that arrived right when you needed encouragement, the strength you found on days you thought you had none left. That wasn't coincidence. That was compassion. That was me. Gratitude is how you join me in remembering. Do you know why I love a grateful heart? Because gratitude keeps pride from poisoning your joy. It reminds you that every good gift comes from above, not from effort, not from luck, but from my hand. Gratitude keeps you soft when life tries to harden you. It keeps your spirit fertile for faith. It transforms why me into thank you, Lord, even here. It turns an ordinary meal into communion, a long drive into worship, a sigh into a song. Child, I want you to learn to live slow enough to see my fingerprints, to pause between your worries long enough to whisper thanks, to write down mercies before you count mistakes. Gratitude trains your heart to stay awake. It keeps you from missing miracles that wear the disguise of normal days. Every time you whisper thank you, you invite me closer. Every time you notice something beautiful and trace it back to me, you build an altar in your heart. Gratitude is not the end of prayer. It is the beginning of peace. When you thank me, you step into alignment with heaven's rhythm. You begin to move with grace instead of against it. You wonder how to change your life. Begin with thanks. Thank me for what is left instead of what is lost. Thank me for what's possible instead of what's past. Thank me not because everything makes sense, but because you trust that I do. A grateful heart is a magnet for my presence. I inhabit the praises of my people. When you thank me, I move closer. Even in this very moment, I am surrounding you with reasons to rejoice. Some you can see, most you cannot yet, but gratitude opens your eyes, and soon you'll recognize that even in unanswered prayers, I was answering in ways you couldn't yet imagine. You will one day look back at this season and realize I was teaching you to see me not only in the miracles, but in the mundane. To bless me not only when doors open, but when they stay closed. To thank me not only when you feel strong, but when you feel small, because gratitude is not about circumstances. It is about seeing me rightly. Beloved, when the night feels long, thank me for the stars. When the road feels endless, thank me for the strength to walk it. When people fail you, thank me that my faithfulness does not. When your plans fall apart, thank me that mine never do. Gratitude doesn't change what you see, it changes how you see it. You have so much more to thank me for than to fear. You woke up today, that's mercy. You can still love, still laugh, still hope, that's grace. And if you are reading this now, it means I'm not finished with your story. The ink is still wet, and gratitude is the pen I want you to write with. Let your thanksgiving be louder than your worry. Let your praise outrun your pain. Let gratitude be your daily posture, not your occasional prayer. Wake up grateful, walk grateful, rest grateful. And when life feels heavy again, because it will, remember this: thanksgiving is the bridge between your need and my nearness. You will never regret gratitude. Every thank you builds a home where peace can dwell. Every moment of awe is a doorway to joy. I'm not asking you to thank me for everything, only to thank me in everything. Because when you do, you begin to see that nothing can separate you from my goodness. So breathe again, child. Look around you, see what still remains. Hear the quiet miracles humming through your day, and whisper it softly, even if through tears. Thank you, Lord. Thank you still. I am near. I am good, and I am worthy of your thanks, always. Your Father, who delights in your gratitude. My beloved, I see how the world moves so quickly around you, how noise fills your hours, how lists chase your peace. But hear me, gratitude is not something you add to your day. It is something that transforms it. It is not one more thing to remember. It is the way to remember what truly matters. When your heart chooses thankfulness, it steps out of survival and into surrender. You have prayed for peace, and I have placed it in your reach. It does not hide in perfect days or in answered prayers. It lives inside a grateful heart. Every time you say, thank you, you build a wall around your spirit that fear cannot climb. Worry loses its grip, comparison loses its poison, and bitterness loses its voice. Gratitude is not weak, it is warfare. It stands tall against the storms and says, my God is still good. Remember how David sang even when caves echoed with danger? Remember how Paul and Silas praised me from a prison cell? Gratitude was their weapon, and praise was their key. You may not be in chains of iron, but perhaps you are bound by invisible ones. Anxiety, regret, disappointment. The same weapon still works. Sing, thank, praise, even before the answer comes, because gratitude does not wait for deliverance. It invites it. When you choose to thank me before you see the miracle, you show heaven that your faith is alive. When you bless me while you bleed, you tell darkness it cannot define you. Gratitude does not ignore pain, it interprets it through hope. It says, God, I don't understand this yet, but I trust that one day I will. That trust turns sorrow into seed and waiting into worship. There will be days when you wake up heavy, when gratitude feels forced and worship feels far. On those days, thank me for what you cannot yet feel. Thank me that I am still near, still holding, still writing your story. Gratitude is not about emotion, it is about perspective. It turns your eyes from what is missing to what remains. It helps you remember that loss is not the whole story. Love still lingers, grace still flows, mercy still renews. Child, gratitude is medicine for the soul. It slows your pulse when life speeds up. It unclenches your hands when fear tries to grip. It brings color back to gray days and light back to dim hearts. When you thank me, you realign your life with reality, that you are loved, provided for, carried, forgiven, seen. You remember that I am still the giver, and you are still the beloved. You say you want to hear my voice. Start with thanksgiving, because gratitude quiets the noise long enough for you to recognize my whisper. It clears the static of complaint and tunes your heart to my frequency. I speak most clearly to hearts that are grateful, because gratitude keeps pride away and wonder alive. The humble heart hears heaven easiest. Do not wait for everything to be perfect before you give thanks. If you do, you will wait forever. Perfection is not the place where gratitude begins. It is where gratitude leads. Start where you are, with what you have. Thank me for what is still good, still holy, still beautiful. Thank me for the small mercies that go unnoticed, for the shoes on your feet, the roof that kept you dry, the voice that said I love you, the laughter that found you when you needed it most. Even now, the air you breathe is my reminder that grace continues. Every sunrise is my whisper, I'm not done. Gratitude turns that whisper into worship. It says, I still see you here, Lord, even in this. And every time you do, the distance between heaven and earth shrinks a little more. Child, gratitude is how you walk through storms without sinking. It's how you carry joy through sorrow. It's how you build altars in ordinary places. Every thank you speak adds a brick to the temple of your peace. Keep building, keep thanking, keep noticing, because one day you'll realize that gratitude didn't just change your mood, it changed your life. It trained your heart to see differently, to love deeper, to hope longer. It became your secret strength. And on that day, you'll look back and say, the Lord has been good to me, even in the valleys, even in the waiting. So today, beloved, begin again. Start small, say thank you aloud, not because everything is right, but because God still is. And as you do, watch how the light shifts in your soul. Watch how peace begins to pour in again. For this is how you live in my presence, not by striving, but by thanking. Not by having more, but by seeing more. Gratitude is not the language of the lucky, it is the language of the loved. And you, my child, are deeply loved. Your Father, the giver of every good gift.